They teach you about dollars while making you laugh. When it comes to money, don't be slackers. Listen to Golly and Susan, Susan and Gaia. Golly and Susan, they're the Fiscal Firecrackers. Yeah, yeah. Take it, ladies.
Woo! All right.
Woo.
All right, that theme song. The dollar signs that are all over my sweater are actually shimmying right now. They are.
They are.
Do you see them moving?
Yes, yes.
All right, everybody. Hi, I'm Susan Yeagley.
Hi, I'm Galia Gishon.
And we are the Fiscal Firecrackers. And welcome to the very first episode of our brand new podcast. This is the show where we have a blast while we're learning to make our money last. We will educate, entertain, and empower you with your money.
We are going to change your financial life. We are starting a money revolution. Are you ready to join us?
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody. I'm Susan, and I was born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee, and now I live in Los Angeles. I followed my dream to break into showbiz, and now I'm happily living in LA as a mommy, a spousey, and an actress. I've always been fascinated by money, especially, when I was in my 20s and I had none. Just like you, I want to earn it. I want to learn about it, and I want to watch it grow. So let's take our hot buttermilk biscuits dripping with honey and throw them onto the gravy train. Take it, Galia.
Woo! I've worked and studied in money and finance my whole career. To me, money is a tool for financial independence for everyone, especially women. I started my career on Wall Street with top New York City investment banks for nearly 10 years and have an undergraduate degree and an MBA in finance. My business, Down to Earth Finance, provides independent financial planning, and I've been teaching at universities and to freelancers for many years. I'm also an active angel investor, focusing on women-led and impact startups, and I recently published my first novel, The Accidental Suffragist. I'm a mom to 2 great teen daughters, and I have a wonderful partner. Consider me your financial fairy godmother.
Oh, I do. Hello, fairy godmother. Hi. Hi. Thank you for your wand. Thank you. You have helped me out so much since our very first Zoom, and I'm just thrilled that today we get to share you with the world.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Yay!
so excited to be here. So excited to be here. I actually couldn't sleep last night. I was so excited. I felt like that kid, the night before Christmas or Hanukkah. I was really I was so excited about today.
Oh, that's great. I couldn't sleep last night either, but for different reasons.
Do you want to share what those reasons are now?
It was good, sexy reasons, but.
Oh, okay.
All right, jump in. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, today on our premiere episode of the Fiscal Firecrackers, we are going to talk about investing. That's right, investing. You will learn tips and tricks of how you can jump in today and start making money, even if you do not have any cash saved. And the market is up and it is down. And so we're going to give you tips and tricks on how to deal with all that volatility too.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack with investing. I think it's intimidating to a lot of people.
It is. And I think that holds people back is because there is so much fear and so much intimidation that they don't know where to get started. And so they do nothing. And so our goal today is for you to do something. Open an account, make a change, start investing, do something right away. That is our goal.
Yep. Tangible steps. I mean, one of my favorite investing stories for my own life is, I guess about 7 or 8 years ago, I had this acting job. As an actor, I assume that every job is my last. That's my last job. In the middle of the night, they're going to come and grab my SAG card out of my wallet and I'll never work again. So I did this pilot in Georgia and I came back and I thought, how can I make every cent of this acting money last? And I knew I loved Lululemon clothing, and I noticed everybody was wearing it, and it's comfortable because you can put your keys in the pocket, and then they have bags in the store that say, you're brave, you're strong, I can do this. They did free yoga classes on Saturday. I mean, I loved their whole world and their brand. So I took that acting money and I bought Lululemon stock.
I love it.
And so here's actually the thing. So I bought it for $53.37 a share. And then this morning I checked it and it was $311.82. That's down from a couple of weeks ago when it was $464.
That is.
Right? because the market's a little volatile right now.
Right.
But I just, for me, I mean, I'm not a professor like you are of finance, but whatever I dig, I like to invest in. And for me, I love a brand, I love a drink, I love a certain car. That's where my money's going.
First of all, I think it's awesome that you took an idea of something that you love, something that you want to follow, and you said, let me put my money where my mouth is. Let me put my money behind my habit. So that is a really, really great lesson. So I've come up with 2 tips while I was listening to you.
Okay.
So the first tip is open an investment account now. This is going to be the hardest part for those of you that are listening. So this is what Susan did. This is what you did. You literally said, I love Lululemon. Let me buy the stock. And you bought it at
$53.37. It's only because I check my accounts 5 times. I walk around with my phone. I'm like, I got to check my babies. Mama needs to check her babies. How are my Lululemon babies doing? How's my Tesla baby doing?
So what you're actually doing is you're owning your money, which is another really, really important step about thinking about our money, is you don't just have savings and investments, you're owning them. You're seeing how they're doing, you're checking up on them, you're following up on them. Most of us don't do that. So I love that you're owning your money. Okay, back to the tip. Open an investment account now. So you can do it 2 ways. What you did is you bought an individual stock. So you can actually buy that through a brokerage account, such as Fidelity or Schwab. Those are my 2 favorite, 2 largest companies, 2 cheapest companies. So if you have an individual stock, you can do it at a place like Fidelity or Schwab. Or if you don't have an individual stock, but you still want to open an investment account, you can open a mutual fund, which is a group of stocks. And you can do that for as little as $1,000 or even less.
Yeah. So if you had $1,000 right now sitting around, this would be the thing to do today by 1:00, right?
Yes, exactly.
Go to one of these places and take your $1,000 and invest it.
Yes. And my favorite place is the largest mutual fund company, which is Vanguard. Everybody has seen them or heard of them. They are the cheapest one in the country, bar none. Open a mutual fund there. So once you have it for $1,000, by the way, you can add as little as $25 at a time. So the hardest part is opening the account, putting $1,000, and then adding as little as $25.
It's like that song, the first cut is the deepest, right?
Baby,
and you just got to take a first swing at it. Starting is hard, right?
Yes, starting is the hardest part. And then if you don't know what kind of fund to buy, consider a balanced mutual fund. That is a great first-time investment for people.
Okay.
And that's a mutual fund that has stocks and bonds in it. So it's going to really help you ride the volatility of the market and still make a decent return in the long run.
Do you remember, Galia, when you first started investing?
I do. So, I'm probably the exception. I was studying finance at the University of Florida, and I was learning about this blue chip mutual fund, which basically was investing in 25 stocks that are called the blue chip stocks. These are like the lumber stocks and the oil and gas. And I just went out and bought that. So I bought my first mutual fund when I was 19 from a company called T. Rowe Price.
What? Okay. When I was 19, I was buying nipple tape. So congratulations to you. I bow at your feet. You were really investing at 19? You freaking had your head on strong enough to invest at 19?
I was. And I'll be honest with you, I had no money. So this was not like, oh, my dad gave me money. I really had no money. So I found this mutual fund company called T. Rowe Price. And what they did is they waived the minimum, which at the time was $2,500, which, back in the 90s was a lot of money. So I did not have $2,500, but they said, if you commit to investing every month for $75, which was the minimum, we will waive the minimum. And I said, yes, I will find that $75. And I went and got a job at Baskin Robbins. And then I worked for the university so I could have the $75 a month to invest in this mutual fund.
Wow. That's so smart. Now, did you miss that $75 a month?
No, I always do that, Susan. Whenever I give a seminar, this is actually another great tip, is invest every month. So I always do this in my seminar, and I go around the room. Now I go around the Zoom. I used to go around the room. Now I go around the Zoom. And I say, for those of you that had a 401k or invested on a monthly basis, how many of you missed it? And so maybe the first month they raise their hand a little bit, but after a while, nobody misses money that's taken out every month.
Galia, hold that thought while we do an ad.
Freelancers, ready to stop wasting fees on your business account? Lily is a new way of banking for freelancers and single business owners. Separate your personal and business expenses with just a swipe. Left for personal, right for business. You'll optimize taxes, save money, and reduce financial stress. In just 3 minutes, you can join the more than 500,000 freelancers who've already opened a Lily account. No minimum balance, no hidden fees, no impact on your credit score. Sole proprietors and single member LLC are eligible. It's time to invest in your business, not your bank. Now go invest that tax refund in an index fund instead.
You're welcome. All right. So where were we?
This is my second tip for you.
Okay.
Is set up what's called dollar cost averaging or automatic asset investing.
What does dollar cost average mean?
So it means that this month I'm buying maybe at $50 a share because it's low.
Okay.
Next month I might be buying at $60 a share because it's going higher. So that means I'm averaging out the cost of what it's costing me to buy the mutual fund or the stock.
Okay.
So it's just averaging it out. So when you open that investment account at Vanguard or Fidelity or Schwab, and I'll give you some others in a few minutes, when you open that account, have it linked to your checking account and have them take $25, $50, $100 every month. Now, this is going to serve multiple purposes. One, you're going to grow the money without thinking about it. You're not going to miss it.
Woo!
Exactly. Number two, you don't have to take advantage of market timing. Like right now, this week, the market's down. So if you weren't thinking about it, you would be buying now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, you might be buying next month when the market's high, but it's going to average out. That's what the dollar cost averaging is. The third, and I've seen this over and over and over, I've been dealing with people and their money for almost 20 years. My clients that save automatically like this, investing in the market every month, have more money. And I'm not talking about the wealthy. I'm talking about the middle class. I'm talking about the working class. I'm talking about the freelancers. So if you can invest automatically $25, $50, $100, you won't miss it. And then next time you listen to this podcast, I'll say, take that $25 and increase it to $30.
Right.
The hardest part is just getting started.
Right. That's one thing when we first met, you said to me is it doesn't matter the commas and zeros in someone's bank account. Mm-hmm. It's about just doing it. Just step up and start.
It's so true. The habit is the hardest part.
Especially when you're 19. Because I remember, gosh, maybe it was 13 or 14. I created a job for myself because I'd seen that movie, The Apartment, with Shirley MacLaine and Jack Lemmon.
Mm-hmm. I remember that movie.
Remember? It's so
movie.
good. It's so good. Billy Wilder, so good. She worked as a lowly elevator operator, and she would just be darling and push buttons for people. And I thought, I'm going to do Shirley MacLaine's job. So I would go into Nashville, into businesses, and I'd go into the elevator and have the audacity to say, which floor are you going to? And I'd put my hand out and they would give me a quarter or a couple of dimes. And I would push number 5 or push penthouse and pretend I was Fran Kubelik from The Apartment.
Oh my God.
Unlike Galia, who invested, I blew my money on Pac-Man, parachute pants, Bonnie Bell lip gloss. I just blew it, right? I did no clue about investing. Just bubblegum money, soda money. I probably was at your Baskin Robbins store with my elevator money.
So besides the elevator job, did you have any other jobs when you were a kid?
I have always been scrappy. I'm always looking to hustle. So when I was probably 10 or 11, my mom gave me a potholder kit.
Aww.
So it was really sweet. So I would walk around to all the neighbors on our street and I would go into their kitchen somehow. I'd make an excuse to get in their house and I would say, oh, the Duncan's house is brown and white. Oh, the Wainwright's house has rust colors and yellow kitchen. Oh, the Koch family is bright green and yellow door. And I would make potholders secretly that would match each of my neighbors' kitchens.
Avocado green?
Avocado green. It was the 70s, the 80s. So I would go and knock on their door. I'd say, Miss Duncan, here is a cream and butterscotch and chocolate brown potholder that I made that will match your kitchen.
Oh my
She goes,
God.
Susan, that's so sweet. And I'd say, it's $2. And she would buy it. And then the Koch family would buy it. The Williams family would buy it. The Wainwright family, because I had matched their exact colors to their kitchen.
Well, first of all, I give you a lot of credit for your gumption to actually go out there and earn money, because I think that's something that is truly, truly remarkable. Of course, I'm going to take it a step further, as you know I do.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are listening that are either young yourselves or you have young people in your life, my next tip is get started as early as possible. So take that 25 cents that you earned at the elevator, let it save for a while, let it accumulate, but start investing as early as possible. Listen to these numbers. This is going to blow your mind.
Ready.
Say you're 20 years old and you invest $250 a month for 10 years. And then you never invest again.
Okay, wait, let's just repeat this slowly for non-math people like me. Okay, so I'm 20 years old. I'm just imagining myself at 20 with stacks of nipple tape that I just bought. Okay, I'm 20. So $250, I could have made that happen.
It's a stretch for a lot of us.
Right, but we all probably could have found a lane where we could make that happen. All right, so 20 years old, $250 a month. For how many years?
For 10 years.
Okay, until I'm 30. 30 is so young. Okay.
And then you never invest again. Now, take the second person who starts at 30.
Okay.
And they have to invest $250 for the rest of their lives. Guess what? The person who just invested from age 20 has more money than them. Because that first person started early. And that's the power of compound interest.
That's incredible. 10 years can make that much of a difference?
Yeah, absolutely. So the point of this is just get started now. Don't worry. Most of us might not have $250. Just get started with your investing. And I ran these numbers assuming a 6% growth rate, which is below the average for the market on the long term.
That's mind-boggling. I mean, imagine a teenager now, if we tell our, my son's 14, we have him doing that at 14.
Yeah.
Your girls do that. Your girls are teenagers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible, right?
Yeah. And so what I would suggest to your son is teach him the power of doing it every month. So yes, there's you have a little extra money, let's invest it, but also teach him the power of saying, let's do this $25, $50 a month. So it really shows them that it's not a one-time special event, but it's something that they have to do on a regular basis.
Like making your bed and putting the toilet seat down, for God's sake. You have girls, you have to deal with that. Holy moly. I fall in. Every time I go to the bathroom, I fall right in. Splash.
Yeah, I really do not have to deal with the toilet seat down. I live with a woman. I have daughters.
That's right. You're completely. And I'm with all men. So
I cannot relate.
Pros and cons with everything.
Yes. So I had another tip that I thought of with your Lululemon stock, which is a really, really important fundamental principle of investing, which is diversification.
Okay.
Diversification. It's like that old movie when they talk about real estate. They're like location. So diversification is so important with your investments. And this means that your investments should be spread out over different categories. So in your case of the Lululemon, that would be considered a small cap or a small company.
Because I've heard people say small cap, large cap. What does that mean?
Yes. So it actually means capitalization, which is literally the dollar amount that it's worth on the stock exchange. So it's like company, but it stands for literally how much the dollar value of the company is worth.
Okay. So if I'm at a cocktail party in the Hamptons, I can say, how big is your cap?
You can say, my small cap portfolio is worth, how about yours?
And let me just ask, because I do want to know, what is a venture capitalist? Because I live in LA. I mean, there's a lot of actors out here and writers and show business people, but occasionally I'll meet someone and they'll say they're a venture capitalist. And I kind of not sure what that is. What does that mean?
So a venture capitalist is either a person or a firm that invests in a company that is private. So that means they are not a publicly traded company yet. So it is still a privately held company. So which means, number one, you can't find out any information on it. And venture capital usually means the stage of where this company is at. So they probably have revenues of, I would say, about $10 million on average. So they're in a very accelerated growth stage, but it's still relatively early. So it's still relatively a young company.
Okay. So if I'm at the Red Lobster eating my shrimp, a guy walks by and he says he's a venture capitalist, I will know that he or she is someone who invests in companies that are private and are not yet public.
Right.
So they will probably not tell me much more than that.
Yes. And I would say that they're still like in that very, very high growth stage. Mm-hmm. So I would say the majority of them are tech companies. Mm-hmm. That are venture capital. And it means that this company is growing so rapidly, so it needs outside money to invest in it. so it can continue its growth. And so the venture capitalists are investing in those companies.
So once their company that's so secret and private becomes public, are they no longer venture capitalists? Are they something else?
So really the stage is it goes from VC, venture capitalist, to then private equity. So private equity is the stage where they're still continuing to invest in the companies, but they're much farther along. So they're usually they have revenues or sales of 25 to 50 million on average. And so they're farther along and they still need more money, but maybe the company's bigger. It has 100 people working for them, or it's looking to acquire other companies. So they're still privately held, which means no, you cannot find information on it.
Okay.
But they're still rapidly growing. So then it goes to private equity, and then it might go to what's called the IPO or publicly traded stage.
Okay.
And that's when it becomes a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ.
One more term I want to clarify because it's in your bio. You say you are an angel investor.
Yes, yes. So angel investing.
I know you have wings on your back, but what does that exactly
I
mean?
do. They're
An
fluffy.
angel investor.
An angel investor is the stage before venture capital. So the idea is you're investing in a company when you're their angel because they're really, really early stage. So they
Oh.
might not have revenue. They might just have an idea. I personally only invest in companies that have revenue, but again, they might have like 50,000 in sales or 100,000 in sales. So they have proven that they can make money, but they're really, really early stage.
So if I'm at my local farmer's market and I love this woman's coconut milk that she makes every Sunday, and I want to invest in her company, that would be considered, I'd be an angel investor.
Yeah,
Because
that's a great
she's
idea.
just getting started, right?
Yeah, in fact, I just did that this week.
With coconut milk?
No, I didn't. I did it with these crackers. I don't have them right here. But I go to this health food store every week and I buy these crackers that are these fiber crackers with everything salt and everything spice on them.
Oh, yum. I love salt.
And I love them. So then I Googled the company and it turns out the founders have really impressive backgrounds and they live in my town. So I DM'd them on Instagram and I said, I'm an angel investor. Anyhow, we ended up having coffee. They're raising money. These women are amazing. Their crackers are delicious.
What?
I love him. So this is, by the way, a great
Wow.
lesson in invest in what you know, like how you bought Lululemon.
Yeah. This is your
Right.
yoga classes on Saturday, Lululemon. Great bag story. You love the crackers.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing is you always will know with these crackers. I'll know with Lululemon, I'll always be a customer.
Right.
So you have my
Right.
vote.
Well, and it's really the initial principle of investing, which is what's called value investing, which is buy what you know. So Peter Lynch, who was one of the sort of most well-known fund managers at Fidelity, he said, literally, what is that car in your driveway? What is that appliance in your kitchen? Open your cupboard. What foods do you eat? So whether it was GM, Kraft, GE, buy those brands. So that's called value investing. That's really buying what you know. So with diversification, you want to make sure that you have some of the small cap, which is the Lululemon. You want to have some large cap, which is like GE, IBM, the large companies, Microsoft, Apple, you know the names.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have some international, which is the companies like Samsung or companies based in Europe or Asia. And then you want to have some bonds. You want to make sure that you have the four main categories of investments in your portfolio.
Right.
If you have investments, stop and write this down.
Stop and write it down.
If you have investments, meet with either your financial advisor or your mutual fund company and say, am I diversified? Do I have all my food groups of investing? That's what I call them.
Oh, you call them your food groups?
Mhm.
You also use a phrase I love called sleep well at night money.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. That's for our family. That's having cash on hand.
Yeah.
You know, cash in a pickle jar. Just get out of town money, baby. Right?
Listen, sleep well at night money is really, really important because we are talking investing and we are talking about taking risk and watching your money grow, which is so important. Women especially don't take risk. Another reason that they need to invest their money is because women make less money than men. They are still today making 70 to 80 cents for every dollar that men are making.
Oh,
I know. It is crazy. And then when you divide that up in terms of women starting out in different industries, women of different races, the disparity grows even more. So just today, on average, we are making 20% less than men, which means we are saving less. So next time you charge for that potholder, add 20% to it just to make up for that difference. So we really need to take more risk. But we need to make sure we have some money saved, the sleep at night money that will not be affected by the market. And so I tend to keep 9 to 12 months of expenses in a savings account.
Great.
And that's not in the market. And that's my sleep at night money. So when the market is going down now, which it happens to be this week, and I'm getting calls and texts and emails from my clients like what to do. And I'm like, how's your sleep at night money? Then you're okay for the next 9 to 12 months. And so my clients actually know.
Yeah. Just take it a half a day at a time, right?
Right. Exactly. Think for the long term.
Having 9 to 12 months of a nest egg just allows your shoulders to drop and lets you ride out the storm, because so many people were punched in the face from COVID. I mean, so many businesses shut down, right? So that's really a good lesson. So after you have that emergency fund set aside, then we move forward with the investing, correct?
Exactly. And you can do it at the same time, by the way. If you're just getting started and you don't have a lot of money saved, that's okay. So maybe if, say, you have an extra $200 a month, put $150 towards your sleep at night money and put $50 in the market. Like, I'm okay with you doing both because, again, we want to really create the habit. We want you to set it and forget it.
That's great. And then also shave off a little bit for party fun, right? Yes. A little, I just need to know I can be a little crazy, a little naughty, a little dirty. I can go out and get my dumb stuff, like a dumb sweatshirt on the weekends or a blouse that has goldfish on it. I just need to know I can party a little bit with my money besides saving it and investing it, right? So how do you spend your little extra money?
To be honest, I was going to say, like, you might spend it on that fun shirt or fun thing, whatever's important to you. I spend it on travel. I love to travel. Traveling is so, if I'm not on a trip, I'm planning my next trip. Yeah. Literally. I'm going to Miami in 2 weeks. I was in California last week.
Oh, I know your schedule. I've watched you. You're at the airport a lot.
I know. During COVID, I got in my car and I drove. I actually learned to drive a boat during COVID. I got my boater's license. I couldn't get on a plane. So I said, let me learn to do something.
Did you really?
Yeah, we got our boater's license. Yes, we both did.
How long does that take? Is that a long weekend? Or?
No, not even. We found it online. There were 8 of us who gathered in a backyard outside, and it was the whole afternoon. I even made my daughter do it with me. So she has her boater's license too. Yeah.
And my husband got his preacher's license, so he can marry people now.
Did he really?
Yeah.
So he
he can preach and you can drive a boat.
I was going to say, he's going to preach and marry someone while I'm driving the boat.
I smell an angel investor coming together, a boat that marries people.
Yes. All right, I'm going to give you one more tip before we move on. Actually, I have 2 more tips because I can't stop. Keep your fees low. I'm a really cheapskate when it comes to investing. And so there's a few ways you can do this. Do you know, and I've looked at so many financial statements, most people who are paying fees either through an advisor or money management or mutual funds that they're not aware of are paying 1 to 3% a year.
Whoa.
That's a lot of money. Whether it's 1 to 3% on $100 or $1,000, $10,000, it's a lot of money, especially because you don't realize you're paying it. So there's a few ways that you can get lower fees. Number 1 is stick to index funds. Index mutual funds are the cheapest mutual funds out there in the market.
Okay.
Number 2, if you are working with an advisor, ask them to lower their fees. Number 3, you can do it yourself. And that's going to be the cheapest way. And so that's doing it at a place like Vanguard or Fidelity, or going with what's called a robo-advisor, which is one of these new digital financial advisors that costs 0.25% a year.
Wow, that's low.
And those are Betterment, Wealthfront, and Ellevest. Those are the top 3.
But you can't negotiate with a robot, can you? And say, do you take less than 0.25?
Yes, exactly.
What is it? How does it negotiate with you? I just keep thinking Star Wars bar.
You cannot, but it's 0.25% a year. So that's really cheap, but that's really funny. I'd love to see that visual. Yes.
Miss Galia, we have a letter.
Ooh.
Want more pecuniary pleasure? Let's read a letter.
First, I just want to say we want to hear from you. So please send those letters in.
We love hearing your letters. So this one says, Dear Fiscal Firecrackers, I've always thought I was smart with money, but when the pandemic hit, I realized I had no savings. I am a single mother responsible for my daughter. How can I quickly create a nest egg or emergency fund for the 2 of us? Thank you for all your ideas. Katie K.
Katie, when the pandemic first hit, do you know I gave 60 workshops during the pandemic? And so many,
Wow.
60, I know, which was crazy. I mean,
Wow.
during that initial quarantine. And many of them were people like Katie who were, I have no savings. I've lost my income. So I actually went back and looked at my notes. So the first thing is, first of all, you want to do something that makes you feel in control, that you can take an action item right now. So the first thing I suggest is find 5 places to cut right away, whether it's reducing your phone bill, changing supermarkets. You're going to feel like you're doing something and you're going to find money.
Okay.
And I will also say, Katie, that there's nothing we can do about what you did yesterday or last week that you didn't have the savings.
Amen. We cannot look in the rearview mirror. It's over.
Right? But we are where we are today, and so we can help you going forward. So really think about that, Katie. So finding 5 places to cut right now, you will find $20 a month, $25, $50, $100 a month. So now once you have found that money, make your savings automatic. Go online to a high yield savings account such as Marcus or American Express Savings and set up an automatic savings account for that money that you found, that $20, $25. And right away, you will feel better. So maybe you're not going to have the 6 to 12 or 9 months of savings right away, but you will feel like you're doing something because A, your monthly expenses will be lower and you'll have automatic savings right away.
Yeah, you had told me about this. I looked at our credit card and I noticed I was paying for apps, $19 a month, $20 a month, $12 a month for apps that were baby apps. And my son's going to be 15 this weekend. I'm like, why am I buying Stack the Letters and all these little games? And I just called the company, cut them out. I mean, right there's savings, right? All these recurring charges.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can also do something big if you want to. Like if you have insurance, you can ask your insurance to increase their deductible so your premiums go down. So that's a kind of an easy way. So you still keep your insurance, but an easy way to maybe to go from like a $500 payment to like a $250 payment. Or you can move, or you can really get rid of something big. But that might feel like, gosh, I'm really, really doing something that feels uncomfortable versus these small things that are great things for you to do in the long run. But that's going to really feel like you're taking an action item too. I'm going to even give you another tip is that, Katie, if you work for yourself, or even if you don't work for yourself, if you work for someone else, ask for more money. And I realize the pandemic is happening and a lot of us are just grateful for what we've got. But guess what? People are still doing well. So if you charge an hourly fee, increase that by $10, $20.
Brilliant.
And if you work for a job, ask them for more money and just put that right in the bank.
Now, do you need to say to your clients or whoever you work for why you're asking? Or
No.
should you just say, you don't need to go in?
It's none of their business.
Okay.
No.
You just would say, hey, I'm charging $15 an hour now. I'd like to charge $22.
I'm increasing. You can say, as of the new year, I'm doing it.
These are my new rates.
Right. You can say, haven't you heard that from people? These are my new rates. I'm charging
all
right.
the time. And I honor it. I'm like, okay, cool. We're still going to work together.
Right. So let's go over the tips that we covered today.
Open your ears and a money market account. It's time for Gallia's Dollars and Cents.
So if you did not write them down, stop and write them down now. They're also going to be on our website, the Fiscal Firecrackers website. So check them out there. So the first is get started as early as possible. Whatever you're doing, drop everything right now and just get started on investing. The second is open an investment account now. It's the hardest part. And again, I love the cheapest and largest mutual fund company, Vanguard. And if it's your first time investing, consider a balanced mutual fund like the Vanguard Wellesley. Most of the companies that I mentioned have a balanced mutual fund. And a shortcut to investing, so if you don't have the minimum for that or you just want to get started, is consider a robo-advisor. A digital... How can you not do that with those noises? Come on. Such as Elevest, Betterment, or Wealthfront. You can set it and forget it with them. It's so great. Another tip is make sure you're diversified. Diversification, diversification, diversification. So really spread your risk amongst the 4 food groups of investing. And then lastly, invest every month. So if you first want to make sure you have your sleep at night money, you can save every month to a savings account, but then invest every month at the same time. And that's with the dollar cost averaging. You will be thanking me in 10, 20 years. You'll be thanking Susan too, that you set it and forget it. You invested every month, that you opened that account and you made sure you were diversified. And then lastly, keep your fees low. Do that through index funds, through the robo-advisors, or just ask your financial advisor, say, how much are you charging me? Okay, let's lower it by 0.5%. Let's lower it by 1%.
And when in doubt, just go get your boating license, right? I mean, for heaven's sakes, we should all know how to drive a boat.
Why not? It was much easier than I thought, by the way.
I like that idea.
Yes.
All right, Galia, we've got some people to thank today for our first podcast. Big thanks to Broadway icon, the amazing Capathia Jenkins, who graced us with her spectacular voice. I love her singing. And thanks to musical maestro Jeff Babko, who made magic with our theme song. Big thanks to our silent and smoldering producer, Jeff Fox. And endless, boundless, heartfelt thanks to our executive producer, partner, and dear friend, Jill Lederman, who knew to use her superpowers and put us all together. Check out our Fiscal Firecrackers website to learn our origin story behind this passion project. All right, everybody, till next time, remember, put down that mocha latte and pick up a mutual fund.
Fiscal Firecrackers, yeah.
Thank you for listening to our podcast, The Fiscal Firecrackers. While this podcast contains information about finances and investments, financial results discussed herein are not necessarily typical and are not a guarantee of future success. The creators of this podcast make no warranty, guarantee, or representation as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. The podcast should not be considered professional advice and is not a substitute for a financial planner or investment banker. Please seek professional guidance and do your own research before investing.
Whew, you are welcome.